Kasabot na?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let's proceed to
Yes, ma'am,
another
ma'am.
na pod theory nga mag-explain na pod sa formation na pod sa solar system. Wa na ang universe, humana ang universe. Now let's proceed to the formation of the solar system. So, ingon ni nga theory, kinsa man na siya nga theory? The wildly accepted or the most viewed nga theory. Tawag nga hala unsa man?
Nebular.
Nebula.
Nebular
Nebular
theory.
theory.
O, diba, o? Di ka na ko na mag-discuss ani. Okay, so sa nebular theory. Nebular theory, according ani, is that ang solar system ko no is originate gikan sa nebula. So when it comes good no, when it comes to the formation sa ato ang solar system, pinaka accepted nga view gid si nebular theory. Ingon ni nga theory nga ang sun, ang atong planets and other object nga na makita sa solar system is na form kuno siya gikan sa nebulous material. So that is the nebula billion of years ago. That is 4.5 to 5 billion years ago. So it proposed to explain the origin of our solar system. So kano siya nga theory is again the most viewed theory. Next. Ay. So si nebula is defined by NASA as a giant cloud of gas and dust in space. So accordingly, this theory, the sun and all the planets began as a giant cloud of molecular gas and dust. So kaning interstellar cloud of dust and gas or the nebula is basically contained hydrogen, helium, and other ionized gases. So mao na ang decompose sa ato ang nebula. We have the hydrogen, the helium, and other ionized gas. So there are three major steps in the formation of our solar system base ani nga theory. So first we have unsa ang first nga step?
Cloud
Cloud
collapse.
Cloud
collapse.
collapse.
Cloud
Collapse.
collapse.
The cloud collapse. After sa cloud collapse is na form ang protoplanetary disk, and right after that one is nag-grow na din siya to form a planets. So basically kaning protoplanetary disk mo na siya baby planet. Mo na siya smaller than the planet. Mo na siya ang mahimo nga planet. So ang nebula is nag-start kuno siya og collapse and then nag-condense. Kani siya nga collapsing process is nag-continue siya over time and the sun to be collected most of the mass in the nebula center in which naka-form og protostar. Sabi ng star, Marshall baby star. Okay, now let's discuss the first step in the formation of the solar system base sa nebular. So, hypothetically, a shock wave from a supernova or the effects of a passing star may cause a cloud collapse. Okay. So the collapse at the center of the cloud due to gravity occurs when gas pressure become insufficient to support the mass of the cloud. Grabe na kabugat, di na niya masuportahan ang iyang kabugat. So the collapsed cloud of the interstellar gas and dust result to a smaller radius, which means it will spin faster or it will rotate faster. So possibly also basically si cloud collapse is possibly due siya sa shock wave of a nearby exploding star. Again, si exploding star is gitawag nato nga supernova. So kini kunong mga dust cloud nga mag-collapse is ma-form siya o mahimo siyang solar nebula. And then basically once nga mag-collapse na si nebula, again, mag-start na siya spin or mag-start na siya og rotate faster. Kusog nga pag-rotate. So as the nebula collapses or as the cloud collapses into a disk, it spin faster. And of course, pag tuyok niyang paspas, muinit na siya. And ang mga gas ug ang dust is mapul, mabira na siya padulong sa tunga. The protosun forms at the center, which is the protosun is the young sun at the early stage of their life. So once mag-rotate na siya, ang dust is magtapok na sa tunga, forming a protosun. Nakasabot?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, let's proceed to the formation of the protoplanetary disk. So basically, the nebula is ma-flatten siya into a disk. Familiar ba taon sa disk, no? So diri as a disk kuno, the dust and gas condense para mag-form og large bodies. So tungod sa kataas sa boiling point diring dapita, only the metals and the silicates were the only particles nga nagpabilin as solid. So kani siya nga mga particles nga nagpabilin as solid is mao na sila basically ang ma-form nga terrestrial planets, which is ang terrestrial planets is unsa man to nga mga planeta ang nabilong sa terrestrial planets?
Mercury, Venus,
Mercury.
Earth, and Mars.
Very good. We have the Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. So, mao na sila mga terrestrial planets. So, kato mga leftover, mga salin-salin, is dili na to sila ma-form into planet congregated in different regions sa ato ang solar system. So, kani sila nga mga region includes the asteroid belt, the Kuiper belt, and the Oort cloud. So basically mga remnants, mga leftover debris sila. Okay, the formation, the metals and silicate could exist near the sun. Dool sa sun because these compounds have higher boiling points. As a result, the terrestrial planets were eventually formed containing a high concentration of these compounds. So basically, kato mga terrestrial planet, mga inner planet, like the Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, they were primarily made of silicate rocks and metals. Una ang composition nila. Next is that the terrestrial planet cannot grow in huge, dili sila modako, because the metallic elements comprise is only limited, very small amount or very tiny lang kaayo ang metallic elements nga na-form sa solar system. So because of this, the terrestrial planet could not grow very large. Again, ang hinungdan nga nung dili siya makagrow o very large is because the limited reserve of metallic elements sa atoang solar nebula. Next is we have the growth of planets. Mag-enta please remind me alas tres. Okay. So the growth of planets, so the dust and grains surrounding the sun eventually form a clump. So kani siya mga clump or kaning pagkumpol-kumpol niya then accredited forming a planetesimal. So planetesimal is a small celestial body that once collide together it tend to fuse to form the planets of the solar system. So kani si planetesimal is basically small planet na siya in which mag-fuse sila para maka-form og planeta sa ato ang solar system. And diha na dayon nag-grow na ang ato ang planets. So inani ang nahitabo niya. Si cloud kuno is mo grows niya hotter and denser in the center with a disk of gas and dust surrounding it was very hot in the center but cool at the edge. So as the disk kuno, kaning disk is nahimo siyang thinner and thinner ang mga particles kuno kini mo na say ang mga particles is nag-stick together para maka-form, nag-combine together para maka-form og mga clump. So kaning nga mga clumps, ang uban nga mga clumps is nidako or ni bigger sila as particle and small clumps stuck to them. Eventually, nag-form na dayon siya og planet. Nakasabot?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Nagets ba?
Yes,
Goods
ma'am.
ra ta?
Gets, ma'am.
Good, sir, ma'am.
Next, we have the proponents of the nebular theory. So, ang idea gid sa solar system is originated nga gikan gid siya sa nebula. It was first proposed in 1734 by Emmanuel Swedenborg, Immanuel Kant, and Pierre Simon Laplace. So, silang tulo ang nag-propose ani nga theory. Now, let's discuss the flows. Unsa may mga drawbacks, mga negative implication ani nga theory. First is that ang particles kuno nga nag-surround, nagpalibot kang Saturn is nag-repel each other which is contrary sa assumption nga ang mga dust particles dito ako no is mag-attach together. So basically contradictory kay lang statement nga imbis nga mag-repel imbis na mag-attach together, nag-repel na hinuon. So wala niya na support ang iyang idea. And it does not follow the law of angular momentum because if the nebular theory is correct kuno siya, and then the sun should be spinning at a higher rate than others. So dapat mas kusog mo tuyok, mas kusog mo rotate si sun. And it did not consider Uranus and Venus, which rotate in a clockwise direction with other planets or rotate in a counterclockwise direction. So lahi ang direction ni Uranus and Venus, clockwise sila. Well, where else the others are counterclockwise ang ilahang direction. Nasabot adri ang part.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so basically, ang kaninga theory, according kaninga theory, ang supernova is resulted siya sa disruption sa nebula. So kani siya nga disruption is nag-create o area which is very high ang density, and this area were formed the gravitational force acted upon these areas is gipang birani ang materials padulong sa iyaha. So the terrestrial planets or the inner planets, including the Mercury, Venus, and Earth, and Mars, they form, nabuo sila closer dool sa Sun. In addition, kaning mga planetaha could not grow very huge kasi ang ilahang amount sa metallic elements is very small, very limited lang kaayo. On the other hand, the outer planets, or terms as Jovian planets, are composed of Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. They are huge planet. Mga dagko na sila nga mga planeta made up of gases. Pero, wa sila land masses or land surfaces. So, kani sila nga mga planeta is na-form sila layo sa sun, in which, because the temperature is away from the sun, it was cool enough for gases nga mag-condense sila, forming this planet to be massive. And massive sila, but ang ilahang density is very low. Nagets na? Nakuha pa? Nakasabot?
Yes, ma'am. Gets, ma'am.
Or next? Nagets questions, clarifications, violent reactions.
None,
Nagets
ma'am.
ra?
Yes.
Are you sure? Grade 11 generous. Nakasabot ra ani nga topic.
Sabton pa, ma'am.
Yes,
Ah,
ma'am.
Okay, so if wala tayong question, we will proceed to the other theory nga nag-try og explain sa origin of our solar system, and that is the encounter theory. So from the word itself, encounter theory, what comes first sa inyong mga utok?
Nag-collide, ma'am.
Nag-collide, very good. Unsa pa? Na ay na-meet. Ana. Basically, nag-collide. Okay. So, magdali ta kay it's already almost time na. Ah, naman to. Okay. Encounter theory proposes that the planets were formed from the material. Excuse me for a while. The encounter theory is the propose siya nga ang planets kuno were formed from the ejection from the material ejected from the sun during an encounter with another celestial object such as another star. So basically, kani siya nga theory is iyang gi-explain nga ang mga planets kuno and other bodies sa atong solar system is na-create siya through sa collision sa another object or another star, which is right after sa ilahang pag-collide is that ang mga materials is nangalagpot, tawag ano sa laing term, ng lupad, in which kato siya nga mga object nga na-eject is basically mahimo to sila nga mga planeta or mga moons and other object in our solar system. Now, there are two forms of encounter theory. So we have the planetesimal theory and the tidal theory. So the planetesimal theory is a form of encounter theory. It proposes nga ang passing star kuno nga giterm as intruding star is nearly collided with a protosun. So the massive gravitational pull of the intruding star causing the protosun to eject filaments of materials which then condenses into planetesimals. So kaninga theories describe how Earth started from a solid mass smaller than its present size. So ang planetesimal guys is just an object siya nga na form gikan sa dust, sa rock, and other materials. So kaning nga word nga planetesimal is gikan siya sa concept nga infinitesimal, which ga-indicate nga ang object is too small to be seen or too small to measure. So basically, si planetesimal can be anywhere from from several meters to hundreds of kilometers. So nga kani siya is ka term is gi-refer siya sa small celestial bodies formed during the creation of a planet. Okay. Now let's continue with the proponents. Wait lang ha. Ay. Okay, so ay nalimtan ako. We'll discuss. Ay. Okay. So according to the aning theory, the planetesimal theory, ang Earth kuno is nag-start from a solid mass smaller than the present size. So basically, dili siya molten mass, but solid mass. And ingon po siya ani nga theory, ingon ni siya nga theory that ang ato ng oceans as well as the atmosphere diri as sulod sa earth is na-create kuno siya or nahimo siya through volcanic activities. And ang gases kuno gikan sa star would rotate mutuyok mo spin around the sun and mag-spread out siya into a disk. So kani siya nga mga particles, mga gas particles is eventually mag-condense ni sila in mag-form og mga planets, moons, and other small celestial object. So, mo ni ang theory ni planetesimal. Ay. Now, let's proceed to the proponents of this theory. So, we have Thomas Crowder Chamberlain and Forrest Ray Moulton. So silang duha is basically ga-propose aning planetesimal theory which held that a star once passed near the sun, pulling away from it, that matter is later condensed para ma-form og planet. So basically silang duha gid ang nagbangay ani para ma-propose nila nga theory. Now, the only problem sa aning nga theory, the flaws of this theory is that si planetesimal is no longer accepted today due to the fact that hot material from the sun expand and dissipate. So, dili siya mag-contract, but basically mag-expand kuno ug mag-dissipate ang mga materials dito sa sun. In addition, the force from the passing star will pull dust and gases far away from the sun. So they would not be able to form the planets in our solar system. So basically, mo na iyahang mga flows. Now let's discuss the another theory that another form of encounter theory. So kani si tidal theories iyahang gitry og explain nga ang solar system kuno is na form as a result of a near collision between sa passing star and the sun. So kani nga theory is the proposed that ang hot gases from the passing star condense forming into planet instead of condensing into planetesimal. So wala siya niagi og planetesimal, wala siya niagi og baby planet. Diretso nahimo siyang planet. And the proponents of this theory are James Jeans and Harold Jeffrey. So please do remember the proponents of this theory. The problem of this theory is that the tidal theory is the hot material from either star cannot contract. So dili daw sila mag-contract. So kung walay contraction nga mahitabo, walay planet daw nga ma-form. Okay. Questions, clarifications, violent reaction. Hello. Questions, clarification. Sure mo? Okay, so please do remember na during sa planetesimal theory, ang first nga nahitabo jud is that ang intruding star again, unsa to ang intruding star is nearly nag-collide sa protosan. Mo tay una nga nahitabo. Bantay mo ako nang ipa-enumerate sa inyo ang event sa planetesimal theory by next week. Una, the intruding star is nearly nag-collide siya sa protosan. Ikaduha nga event, ang protosan is nag-eject, nagawa siya og mga filament of materials. Ikatulo, katong mga materials nga gi-eject gikan sa protosan is nag-condense ko ni siya into planetesimal. Katulo na to siya. Ikaupat, ang planet kuno is na form by accretion. And lastly, ang ikalima, ang ocean o ang atmosphere kuno diri sa Earth is na form through volcanic activities. Now, as for the tidal theory, ang first nga event nga nahitabo diri is that ang star kuno is nagpass near the sun. And secondly, ang gravitational attraction kuno niya is gipull niya ang mga mass sa dust ug sa gas from the remaining nebula around the sun. Ikatulo, ang gas particles kuno the gas particles then condense into liquid and solid state. Kaupat, the particles kuno ang mga particles is nag-clump to form a cosmic bodies of different sizes, klase nga size. And lastly, ang kani nga mga bodies is nag-continue o condense forming into planets. Nakasabot ba mo? Nangugat na ba ako dire?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sureness. Questions. Questions, clarifications. Wala na questions, clarification, wala nakasabot tanan? Yes, ma'am. Yes na lang. Okay, as for your assignment, I will send the activities sa Creeper ninyo. Please do visit your Creeper from time to time kay there might be a tendency nga send ako siya later or by tomorrow. So anyways, don't you worry kay mag-send ko activity, dili man siya ora-orada like 1 hour, inyo na yung answer no. Mag-send ko mga 1 day or 2 days ang iyahang time allotted. Dili siya by hour. Siguro kung quiz siya, by time lang akong allotted ana siya. Pero as for assignment, tagaanta mo tag 2 days, 3 days, hayahay na kayo na siya. Wala na questions, clarifications, violent reaction. If wala na, that would be all for today. I hope everybody is naka-learn something from this lesson. Thank you for joining my class. Thank you for listening. See you next week, everyone. Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
ma'am. Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.